I can't believe you're doing this, Mom. I shouted, my voice trembling. Believe it. You need to learn that life isn't a game, Lena. Get out if you think you can do better on your own. Mom's words cut deep. I felt a heavy weight in my chest. But I just want to be myself. Why can't you see that? Come back when you're somebody, she said coldly, tossing some cash into my general direction. $300, that was it. I watched her walk away, her back stiff, and tears blurred my vision. My heart was racing. What am I supposed to do now? I stumbled out of the house, backpack slung over one shoulder. The cool air hit my face like a slap. I stood on the sidewalk, staring at the world around me, a world that suddenly felt so big and lonely. I pulled out my phone, my hands shaking. I needed to call Dad. With a deep breath, I dialed his number. It rang and then he picked up. Hey, sweetie, how are you? His voice was warm, but I wasn't feeling warm inside. Dad, I need help, I said, trying to keep it together. What do you mean? It's Mom, she kicked me out. My voice cracked. Oh no, honey, I'm so sorry. What happened? He sounded devastated. I took a shaky breath. We fought. She just doesn't care about me or what I want. She wanted me to be someone else. That's not true, Dad insisted. You know your mom loves you. She's just under a lot of pressure herself. Pressure? She doesn't get that I have my own dreams. I wiped my cheeks, but the tears kept coming. I wish I could help. I really do, he said, and I could hear the guilt in his voice. But I'm stuck here in Canada. I can't just come down right now. I'll send you some money as soon as I can. I felt so alone. It's okay, Dad. Just promise me you'll help. I promise, Lena. Just stay safe and figure things out, he replied softly. Okay. We hung up and I looked around. I was still standing outside. A lady walked by, glancing at me with concern. I turned away, not wanting anyone to see me like this. Where was I supposed to go? I had nowhere. I started walking, not sure where my feet were taking me. The 24-hour diner came into view. It seemed warm and inviting, even in the dark. I stepped in and the smell of coffee filled the air. I walked to the counter, feeling small and lost. Hey there, the waitress smiled. What can I get you? Just some coffee, please. My voice was barely a whisper. Sure thing, hun. Sit wherever you like. I slid into a booth. My hands trembled as I wrapped them around the warm cup. I wanted to scream, cry, anything. The waitress came back with my coffee. You okay, sweetie? Just need some time, I said, glancing up. Her eyes were kind, reminding me of Mrs. Harper. I felt the tears threatening to fall again. Take all the time you need. You're safe here, she said softly before walking away. Safe, but I didn't feel safe. I was on my own. As I sipped the bitter coffee, panic washed over me. What would I do? What was my plan? I gazed out the window, the night stretching endlessly. My heart hurt. I wanted to be somebody just like Mom said, but who was I supposed to be? The sun was barely up when I knocked on Noah's door. I could hardly see through my red-rimmed eyes. I felt so fragile. Lena, Noah opened the door, his sleepy blonde curls barely visible. His blue eyes widened. What happened? I need your help, I said, my voice choked. Come in. He stepped aside, urgency in his movements. As I crossed the threshold, I felt the warmth of his home, but it was still so cold inside me. His parents were in the kitchen. Noah glanced at them unsure. Mom, Dad, can we talk? Sure, honey, his mom said, glancing at me with concern. Are you all right, Lena? I had a fight with my mom. I need a place to stay, I said, looking down, my heart racing. Noah's dad frowned. How long? Just for a bit, Noah quickly replied. She can stay in the guest room. Are you sure, Noah? We don't know the full situation, his mom said, her voice cautious. I know her, she's my best friend, he insisted. Please just help her out, I promise it'll be fine. After a moment that felt like forever, they nodded. All right, Lena, just until things settle, his dad said. Thank you, I murmured, my heart swelling with gratitude. Once we reached the guest room, I dropped onto the bed, feeling the mattress sink beneath me. Everything felt overwhelming. Noah sat beside me, his expression serious. What happened? I wiped my cheeks. Mom, she kicked me out, Noah. She said to come back when I'm somebody. That's awful, he said, anger flaring in his voice. What does she mean by that? She doesn't care. It's like I'm always disappointing her. I just want to be myself. I felt the weight of my tears again. Noah looked into my eyes. Lena, you are somebody. You're the smartest person I know. I shook my head, doubting his words. You don't understand. She thinks science is pointless. I feel like I can't do anything right. Listen, he took a deep breath. I've always looked up to you. You're amazing. I promise I'll help you prove your worth to everyone. Really? I asked, surprised. Of course, he said, his voice strong. I'll be right by your side. You just have to believe in yourself. I managed a small smile, but the worry still nagged at me. I have to figure things out quickly. Money isn't going to last long. Noah nodded. How much do you have? I pulled out the crumpled bills, counting carefully. $300. Wow, that sounds like a lot, he said, eyes wide. But how long will it last? I felt a rush of panic. Not long. Rent, food, and everything else, it'll disappear fast. What are you going to do? Noah asked, concern etched across his face. I don't know, I need a plan, I admitted, feeling hopeless. What if I run out? Well, let's think about it. He leaned forward, his expression determined. You can get a job, right? Maybe something in tech where your skills matter. You really think I can do that? I asked, doubt creeping back in. I know you can, he said confidently. Start small, just focus on one step at a time. We'll figure it out together. The warmth of Noah's words made me feel stronger, but the urgency in my situation hung heavily in the air. I just want to feel safe again, I whispered, staring out the window. You will, Noah promised. We'll make sure of it. For the first time since I left home, I felt like there was hope, but deep down, I knew I had to act fast. School was a blur. I walked through the hallways, trying to act normal, but inside, I felt like a storm was brewing. Hey, Lena, my friend called out. It was Sarah. I forced a smile, but it felt heavy on my face. Hi, I replied, trying to sound cheerful. It didn't work. As the day wore on, my heart sank deeper. I finally escaped to Mrs. Harper's classroom after hours. Mrs. Harper, I whispered, peeking in. Lena, she looked up and her eyes widened. What's wrong? I don't know, I said, tears pooling again. Her expression turned serious. Come here, she motioned for me to sit down. I stumbled over to her desk, and suddenly the dam broke. I got kicked out and I don't know what to do. My mom doesn't care, I cried, voice breaking. Oh, sweetie, Mrs. Harper said gently, her eyes filled with kindness. I had no idea. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I was scared. I thought I could handle it, I sobbed, hugging my arms tightly. It's okay to ask for help, she said softly. You know I believe in you. You're brilliant and you shouldn't have to struggle alone. I sniffled, wiping my tears. But how can I prove that? I have an idea, she said, getting excited. How would you like to be my lab assistant? It's after school, but it will help you gain experience. Plus, I can recommend you for a paid tutoring position. My heart skipped a beat. Really? You think I could do that? Of course, you belong in the science world, she assured me. My chest swelled with gratitude. Thank you, Mrs. Harper. Thank you so much. After that, I rushed home and grabbed my journal. I wanted to document everything. I flipped it open and started to write. Day 1, I got kicked out, but I have hope. I will become somebody. I wrote with determination, pouring my heart onto the pages. Later that night, I met Noah for dinner. He looked excited as he set his plate down. So, have you decided what you'll do? I'm going to be Mrs. Harper's lab assistant. She even said I could tutor, I said, bursting with pride. Wow, that's amazing, Lena, he exclaimed. Now we need an even bigger plan. What do you mean? I asked, curious. Noah pulled out a flyer and showed it to me. There's a regional science competition coming up. The prize money is huge. My eyes widened. I didn't know about that, but what can I do? You can use your science skills. Bring your best work. If you win, it'll help with your money problems, he urged. But what if I fail? Doubt crept in. You won't fail, Noah said firmly. You just have to believe in yourself like I do. I nodded slowly, feeling a spark of hope. Okay, I'll try. That night, as I lay in bed, my phone buzzed beside me. It was a message from my dad. I opened it, and my heart raced. You've always been somebody to me. Tears filled my eyes as I read it again. I felt warmth wash over me. My dad believed in me. I realized I wasn't alone. I had people who cared. I could be somebody, and I would work hard to show the world. I smiled in the darkness, determination filling my heart. Tomorrow would be the first step. I woke up gasping, my heart pounding. The nightmare clung to me like a sinister shadow. In it, Mom stood with her arms crossed, her face cold. You'll never be good enough, Lena. You're just a nobody. I shivered, the weight of her words suffocating. Am I really? I whispered to myself, my voice trembling. I rolled over, feeling the tears slide down my cheeks. After a few heavy moments, I forced myself out of bed and got ready for school. Every step felt heavier. As I walked down the street, I saw a familiar car pass by. My heart raced. It was my mom. I froze, instinctively ducking behind a nearby tree. My heart thudded. I wasn't ready to face her yet, not today. When I finally stepped into school, everything felt overwhelming. I spotted Noah at lunch. He waved me over, concern etched on his face. Hey, you look a little rough. Bad night. I nodded, unable to mask my feelings. Nightmare about Mom, it still hurts. Let it out. It's okay, he said gently. But what if you channeled that pain into your project for the competition? I raised an eyebrow, intrigued. What do you mean? Focus on something powerful like sustainable energy. You've got the skills, and it's something your mom always dismissed as a hobby. Let's show her how wrong she is. I felt a flicker of excitement. You really think I could do that? Absolutely. That's your chance to stand up for yourself and prove your worth. Plus, you could win. As we sat brainstorming ideas, Mrs. Harper walked by. She overheard us and smiled. What are you two scheming over there? Noah replied eagerly. We're planning Lena's project for the science competition. Mrs. Harper's eyes sparkled. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. The winner gets a college scholarship and media attention. My heart raced again. Media attention, scholarship. Yes, think about how far this could take you, she encouraged. I felt my doubts shatter, replaced by determination. This is it. This is my chance. After school, I needed to talk to Dad. I picked up my phone, fingers shaking as I dialed. When he answered, his voice was comforting. Hey, Lena, how's my girl doing? Dad, I'm going to enter the science competition. I want to work on sustainable energy, I said excitedly. That's great. I'm proud of you, he replied, and I felt the warmth spread inside me. But what if I fail? I asked, my voice wavering. Lena, listen. Your mom once challenged me too. She wanted me to be successful enough to impress her. But you are already good enough, no matter what. What happened? I asked, curiosity piqued. We fought a lot, but eventually I found my own way. Just like you will, Dad said, his voice sincere. You have so much potential, and I believe in you. I inhaled deeply, feeling his support wrap around me like a shield. Thanks, Dad. It feels good to hear that. I'm always here for you, even if I'm far away, he added. As we talked, I realized I wasn't just fighting for myself anymore. I was fighting for all the dreams I had tucked away, for the person I wanted to become. I'm going to make this work, I declared, my voice steady. I know you will, Dad said, and I could hear the pride in his tone. With renewed determination, I hung up, ready to face whatever came next. I glanced out the window, imagining my project coming to life. I could be somebody, and this was only the beginning. Hours turned into days as Noah and I dove deep into our project. The school lab became our second home. Okay, let's try that again, Noah said, adjusting the solar panel. We flipped the switch and nothing happened. I groaned, frustration bubbling over. Why can't we get this right? Don't worry, we've made progress. Just think about the big picture, Noah reminded me, his blue eyes sparkling with hope. I know, but, I sighed, rubbing my temples. What if we fail? Failure is part of the process. Remember what Mrs. Harper said? We can't give up, he encouraged. Mrs. Harper stayed late to mentor us, her presence becoming a guiding light. You both are doing amazing work, she said with a smile, looking at our sketches and calculations. Thanks for believing in us, Mrs. Harper, I said, my heart swelling. She leaned against the counter, her expression turning serious. You know, I see a lot of myself in you, Lena. I faced family disapproval too when I pursued my dreams. It wasn't easy, but I pushed through. Did it get better? I asked, curiosity shining in my eyes. It did. I found my own path just like you will, she said, nodding. As we continued working, uncertainty crept into my mind. One day, as we were taking a break, Noah's parents sat us down at the dinner table. Lena, we need to talk, Noah's mom said gently. You can't stay here indefinitely. My stomach dropped. I understand, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. I'm really grateful for everything you've done, but we need our space back, his dad added, glancing at me with kindness. Of course, I whispered, the weight feeling heavier on my heart. My timeline was getting tighter, and more pressure built up around me. Later, feeling lost, I rummaged through my backpack, hopping to find something to boost my spirits. That's when I discovered a hidden pocket. I pulled out a few old science awards from elementary school, the shiny paper catching the light. This is me, I whispered, tracing my finger over the dates. Here were all my achievements: first place at the science fair, recognition for creativity. I remembered how Mom had tossed them aside like they didn't matter. Pain welled inside me, but this time it fueled my fire. I was talented, I thought fiercely. I can't let her ignore that anymore. That night, with the competition looming, I worked late into the early hours. The lab was dim, lit only by a flickering bulb. Noah had gone home, but my mind was racing. I flipped the switch on the prototype one last time. It sputtered but failed to function. No, I shouted, panic rising in my chest. Not now. I scrambled to fix it, my mind flashing back to my mother's dismissive words. You're nobody. No more, I shouted into the empty room, gripping the workbench. I will show you. I will show everyone. I tore into wires, quickly recalibrating, determined to beat this. Sweat trickled down my forehead. Time ticked away, but I refused to give in. With each adjustment, my heart pounded, knowing this was my chance. This was more than just a project. It was a chance to prove my worth to myself. Finally, with one last adjustment, I held my breath and flipped the switch again. Success. The prototype whirred to life, sunlight glowing off the panel, creating energy. Yes, we did it, I shouted, a mix of disbelief and joy flooding through me. I slumped down on the floor, tears of relief streaming down my cheeks. I had done it. I was becoming somebody, just as I had always wanted. But the competition was tomorrow, and I had to stay focused. As I closed my eyes for a brief moment, I knew this was just the beginning. The day of the regional science competition had finally arrived. My heart raced as I entered the auditorium, the bright lights and chatter surrounding me. I took a deep breath, trying to steady my nerves. Lena, you ready? Noah asked, standing beside me with a look of encouragement. I think so. I just hope I don't mess up, I replied, my palms clammy. He smiled. Just remember all the hard work we put in. You got this. As I scanned the audience, my heart stopped. There, sitting among the crowd, was my mother. I couldn't believe it. Had Mrs. Harper told her I was competing? My hands shook, but something inside me pushed to stay strong. I had to do this, not just for me, but for all the kids who believed in their dreams despite their doubts. When it was time, I stepped onto the stage. The spotlight felt hot on my face, but I focused on my prototype beside me. Hello, everyone. My name is Lena, and I'm excited to share my innovative solar energy storage solution, I began, my voice stronger than I felt. As I explained the project, I could see my mom in the audience, her eyes watching intently yet unreadable. I pushed through the nerves. This device could help communities during power outages by storing energy efficiently. The judges nodded, jotting down notes. They were looking serious, but I kept my gaze steady. This technology isn't just about saving energy, it's about providing hope. One of the judges raised a brow. How does your solution compare to existing technologies in terms of efficiency? Great question, I replied confidently. My design uses advanced materials to increase efficiency by up to 20%, which means more stored energy and less waste. As the questions kept coming, I took a deep breath and answered each one, showing knowledge beyond my years. My heart swelled with pride. I wasn't just impressing them, I was also proving my worth to myself. After what felt like an eternity, I finished my presentation. The judges exchanged glances, and I stepped back, hoping I had done enough. Thank you, Lena, the head judge said. We'll announce the winner shortly. The wait felt like forever. I could feel my mom's eyes on me, but I kept my focus, recalling every late-night study session with Noah and every moment of doubt I had pushed through. Then a hush fell over the crowd, and the winner is, the moment stretched, Lena Thompson. What? I gasped, my heart leaping into my throat. I stood frozen for a moment, and Noah jumped up, cheering loudly. You did it, Lena. I walked up to the stage in a daze. As I accepted the trophy, the head judge handed me a check for $10,000. Congratulations, you have an incredible future ahead of you. Spots of light flashed in front of me as cameras clicked. I felt exhilarated. This was my moment. After the ceremony, I scanned the crowd for my mom, eager to share the news. Where are you, Mom? I murmured, searching faces. But as I looked around, I realized she was gone. My heart sank. No, she left. Noah walked beside me. Are you okay? Where's your mom? She just disappeared. I felt a wave of disappointment wash over me. Maybe she needed some time, he suggested gently. But I won. She should have been proud. I cried, anger and sadness mixing in my chest. She may not show it, but you have to remember what you've accomplished, Noah said firmly. This is about you, Lena. I nodded, but the victory didn't feel complete without her there to share it with me. I wanted to prove I'm somebody. You did prove it. This is the start of something amazing, Noah insisted. As the crowd bustled with excitement, I held my trophy close, determined to remember this win. But deep down, I longed for my mom to acknowledge my success, to finally see me for who I truly was. I took a deep breath, knowing I would find my own way, with or without her. This was just the beginning of my journey, not the end. A week had passed since I won the competition. Articles called me a young science prodigy, and the excitement should have overwhelmed me. But as I stood outside my mother's house, clutching a copy of the newspaper, I felt a mix of nerves and determination. I knocked on the door, my heart racing. It swung open slowly. Lena, Mom's eyes widened in shock. Hey, Mom, I said, trying to keep my voice steady. The girl who had left weeks ago felt different now, stronger, more confident. What are you doing here? She asked, glancing at the newspaper in my hands. I came to show you this, I said, holding it out. It features my story. She looked at the headline, and I could see the surprise on her face. Young prodigy, she murmured, almost to herself. I came back now that I'm somebody, I said, taking a deep breath. But I realized I always was somebody, just not the person you wanted me to be. Her face hardened. What do you mean by that? I stepped forward. You always pushed me to be someone else. Someone you could be proud of instead of accepting me for who I am. I was tough on you because I believed in you, she said, crossing her arms defensively. Look at what I did. My tough love approach worked. No, it didn't. This success is mine, and it didn't come from your tough love. It came from my hard work and belief in myself, I said, my voice rising. She looked taken aback, but quickly attempted to regain control. I always knew you could be great, Lena. You just needed discipline. No, Mom, I needed support. You never noticed what I really loved, science. You dismissed it as nothing. I felt the emotions swell inside me. You made me feel less than for so long. For a moment, silence hung between us like a heavy blanket. I could see the conflict in her expressions: fear, anger, regret. I just wanted what was best for you, she finally said, her tone softer. I get that now, but it doesn't change how I feel, I replied, forcing myself to be calm. I'm not the girl who ran away anymore. I've found my place. Something flickered in her eyes, and for a brief moment I thought she might understand. But then she spoke again, her voice cool. Lena, we can work on this. You can come home. Come home, I echoed, shaking my head. You still don't see me. I can't go back to that. I want to create my own future, one where people truly support me. Like who? She shot back, her voice rising. Like Noah, like Mrs. Harper, and even my dad, I answered, feeling the urgency in my voice. I've been accepted into a science program that will take me to Canada, near my dad. She froze. You're leaving. Yes, and this time I'm not looking back. I'm moving forward to where I belong. I felt the strength build within me. My mom opened her mouth to say something, but nothing came out. She stood there, a mixture of shock and anger swirling in her gaze, vulnerable in a way I never thought I'd see. I took a step back, my heart aching, but my resolve stronger than ever. I'm proud of who I am. As I turned away, I couldn't help but feel a sense of relief wash over me. I walked towards where Noah was waiting at the corner, relief flooding over me as he waved. Hey, how did it go? He asked, his smile bright and hopeful. I glanced back at my mother's house, then at the acceptance letter in my hand. I stood up for myself, I said, holding it tightly, and I'm ready to start my new journey. Good, I knew you would, he said, grinning. Together we walked, the future stretching ahead of us like an open road, and for the first time I felt truly free.